Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Raveen, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ink Thoughts podcast. So today is quite a special episode again. Well, not just me and Vareen will be here, and today we have a guest on the pod as well. So today we have Nelson in. And yes, Nelson, would you like to say hi to the audience?
Hello, hi everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, would you also, Nelson, we're very interested in whatever you have been doing and actually what you're doing now. So before we start with our questions, can you share a bit about your journey?
Right. Very interesting. Interesting way. I'm not sure how should I get started, but I'll try. I grew up in this place called Pontian. It's the most southeast of the peninsula, Malaysia. Well, in fact, the whole peninsula. So grew up in a humble family. Very close to fishing village. Not exactly, but grew up with the nature. You know, my childhood time was all about going out to play the marbles, go out catch fishes, fighting fish, whatever, right? So fighting spiders, all this stuff. So very unlike to the city kids.
Yeah, I have to totally agree. That I guess I never like those stuff that you're playing is something that I heard from my dad.
Yeah,
yeah, from my dad. Yeah, I was like, it's like a generation back, but I guess that's a cool thing as well. Like you're able to keep in touch in nature just by being back staying in quite a more rural area.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what my friends told me, right? That's the things that their parents did when they were young. So their parents were young. So yeah, that's how I grew up. Got a pretty decent result in SPM. Then got a scholarship to pursue my education. So I read aerospace engineering in university. So, and then later when I graduated, I didn't pursue anything about aerospace engineering. I came back to serve my bond with Khazanah. So I work as an investment analyst, and then thought quite interesting to be in a startup field. So I joined a startup called Pop Meals, previously called Damakan. There to help out with their fundraising, some special projects and hiring as well. So within the CEO office. So and then realized that, hey, you know what? I want to come back to education because back in university days, I was really appreciative of the scholarship given to me, right? Blessed to me. So started this project at an NGO which provides scholarship to other students. So education has always been close to my heart. So I wanted to come back to the education field and to play something, to do some projects within that field and see what can I do to contribute better to the society in the education field. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. But yes, just a very interesting part in your journey is that initially, I guess I actually knew you through Project Ed. I heard about it and it's a cool project, but now that I speak to you, I guess the most interesting thing is that you studied aerospace engineering. Yeah. Like, may I know where from which university do you study, and like why did you get into like aerospace engineering? Like what was your calling when you thought of joining that?
Right. So I read my aerospace engineering degree at University of Southampton. So so very blessed with a scholarship to do that. Without that, I would have been working at a Japanese restaurant. Well, I actually started working at a Japanese restaurant after SPM. So didn't intend to study. It was a scholarship that came through me with a letter. So after you got a certain results in SPM, then you automatically get a bursary, right, from JPA. So that was how I got. And then when I was thinking, hey, what I want to do, right, so realized that I was quite interested. I've always been interested in engineering and particularly aircrafts. So I thought that's quite fun. So I was like, okay, I wanted to be a pilot when I was young, but then a lot of retrenchments and a lot of instability in terms of career, right? So I thought, okay, maybe let's do something closer, which is aerospace engineering. So yeah, I did enjoy my 4 years in university and appreciate the opportunity to see the larger world from the high sky, right? So yeah, did participate in quite a bit of gliding clubs and also fly some planes and also, so pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoy that. Yeah.
That sounds so cool. Would you say that you are the type of person that always know what you want to do, or you just explore along the way, the journey, the way? Yeah.
Well, I guess I've always been quite adventurous. I'll put it this way. I'm quite adventurous, so I love to play. I always treat things like to play. So yeah, just have fun play, but of course with some boundaries, right? So some of the boundaries, for instance, that I set for myself. Of course, you don't do drugs, something that illegal. Right? So secondly, if you are a student, you need to remember what's your role, right? So I set a boundary with my parents, or rather with my scholarship provider. Their requirement was a second upper. So I mean, I told my parents that, hey, you know what, I'll get you a first class. But then beyond that, from 70 to 90, like 70 is the first class for UK system, right? I was like, you don't bother asking me to do like 70 to 90, right? So let me go and do something else. So I'm that kind of person. So I did a lot of fun in the UK. I work as a janitor in a uni library. So I work at 5:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. I'm a morning bird, so I wake up like around 6 anyway. So I was like, okay, maybe let's go and work lah, so that I can earn some money. It's pretty good pay.
That's really smart. That is really smart.
£12 an hour. No one was doing. No one was there. So like literally, it was clean. So there's no like stuff, right? So it was pretty clean. So I just did some minor cleaning and all. It's pretty good money, like, to be honest. So I did that. I work in a English Premier League club. So I work as a waiter during what's it called? The competition day. I mean the league, the game match day. So I work.
I guess like the vibe is really really different, right? Like you can
crazy,
see how excited they are.
Yeah, it was fun. So I work with the what's that called? Southampton Football Club. So St. Mary's Stadium. So I haven't got the chance because we speak Mandarin, right? As Chinese in Malaysia. So the owner is a Chinese.
Oh.
So they needed someone who can speak Mandarin to serve him and his guests. So I even got a chance to serve him directly. So that was like pretty cool experience, right? So yeah, like, okay, interesting. So we even talk a bit and all, right? So that's like crazy. And yeah, you don't simply get a chance to watch a match in a room in the owner's room, together with
like in the boss room, like something like that.
You have to stand and you have to serve, but then it's like an interesting experience. And also I mean I guess that's how I see, it's always about exploring, because we like at the younger age it's all about exploring, because without exploring you are only exposed to this. Then if you already pinpoint down a focus, then you wouldn't know if that's you choose from a limited options to focus on. But then if you explore it large enough, wide enough, then you have a myriad of things that you can choose from, right, that you want to focus on. So yeah, I mean, always explore. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that is cool. I mean, like even though you kind of set boundaries, I guess both of us, we are more of like, how do we say, we are more conservative. We follow more of a safer boundary when earlier during our university. Even recently, where we try to go with like a more freer boundary, we kind of like experiment more things. Yeah, still not as wild as yours. Like, wow, that is really cool. Like your experience and all that.
I mean, I guess this all arise from this curiosity, right? It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to earn money while working in a university library. You just do clean a bit of stuff, so good pay. It's fun to work in a Premier League club, with your friends together during match day. It's fun to go for an exchange that I was in Toulouse for 6 months, doing exchange and back in another university called Isaiah Supayaho. So it's fun to go to France without knowing how to speak French, and then eventually
something we've yet to do.
Yeah, 6 months later, then you know how to speak French, like conversational French. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, you went there for like 6 months?
Yeah, I was there for about 6 months, and Wow. So from zero French. I mean, I learned French back in. I knew I needed to go, so I learned French before I went. But then it's totally, like zero practical experience, right? It's quite shit. So only when I reached there, then only I learned a lot, practical terms, right? So.
Oh, did you went there for like some kind of like exchange or something, or is it like a
program? I was there
program?
for semester abroad, so I learned. I studied there for 6 months. Yeah.
That is impressive.
That's quite
Wow.
fun, yeah.
You
That's
went there with nothing and then like, yeah, like, and just figure out your way and finally you,
I mean,
you just get learn some French in the end.
It was scary, to be fair. I mean, I'm more like an ambivert, you know. A lot of times I need my own private time, and I still have this struggle not to. I mean, I still have this struggle to when I need to ask somebody stuff, right? It's like I don't want to trouble somebody, right? So it's like I need to prep myself a lot, you know. How do I ask and all, right? But yeah, I guess that's some kind of training ground for me back in the days, like yeah, that that trains me a better person in terms of asking the right stuff when you need help. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's already impressive that I can't imagine myself, like, I wouldn't be confident enough to, like, just, I thought when you said you went to France, I thought you know nothing about French and then you went there for a trip. I didn't know that you went there not knowing French and then stayed there for like 6 months, which is like,
Yeah, no,
okay, mind blowing.
Initially, I wanted to go to the US. I mean, it got me to choose between US and France, right? I was like, okay, been there once. I mean, I've been there several times, like 1-2 times in the US, and I was like, okay, that's not too fun, you know. Maybe I should go somewhere else that I mean, France, Toulouse
Impressive.
is where the aerospace is, right? So Airbus is there. So I was like, okay, let's go there and have and see lah. I mean, how things go. So it was quite fun. I met a lot of friends, from different nationalities. I was the only one from Southampton and the only Malaysian, right? So it's like all me. But there are quite a few Singaporeans which became good friends. We became good friends and all. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, just one geeky question. Did you get to see a Concorde?
Oh yes. Yeah. We saw
Concorde, like one of the coolest
yeah,
planet.
Yeah, that's this museum and all. So we literally went up and go into the Concorde and see how it works. Yeah, that's quite fun. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but how do you feel when you're preparing that? I mean, when you're about to go to France and when you're preparing yourself, how do you feel like, because you're going alone, right?
I mean, it was okay. I mean, I love solo backpack trips, so I do quite a bit of solo backpack when I was in the UK and even before the UK, so Southeast Asia and also. So I guess I love this kind of a bit of my me time, but having that, so it's like going consistently between comfort zone and within and out of comfort zone, right? So so this stretches me to expand my comfort zone kind of area, right? That's what I feel. So how do I prep? Answering your question, well, I didn't actually prep. I know I will screw up, but anyways, I was like, just go. I was just having, I guess, the enjoyment and excitement over the nervousness, I guess. So only until when I landed Toulouse airport, right? So I was like, wow, fuck. I spoke in my limited French. I Google translated a prep. No one could understand. I gave up. I spoke in English. No one answered me in English. They keep answering me in French. Until like this dude, like after 5-6 times I asked him in English, right? He came back with me like, oh, okay, now you should go here. I was like, dude, if you know how to speak English, why not? Just speak English. First time, like why do you bother to speak English? You know how I can't speak French, like so that kind of
yeah, I get it.
That's French people that have that pride. So after you know how to speak French, they're good people. I enjoy my time in France. It's lovely.
Okay.
Especially the more suburb areas. Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah.
Okay. But yes, like, interesting thing that knowing that you enjoy solo backpacking. So, like, how, like, I guess screwing up is totally fine. It's definitely part of the journey in solo backpacking. But the key question I have is like, how do you balance between like, like being alone and then like the safety part about solo backpacking?
I guess for guys it's slightly privileged in the sense that I mean not really privileged, but you have something lesser to worry about, right? So I mean I do learn some martial arts like since young, so if anything happen, I hope I can protect myself. If I see a gun, I'll definitely run. So run. So but anyways, yeah, that's for sure, right? So safety wise, I guess always know super late night, when the boundary to get home, and make sure that if you can't walk, I mean, I always walk, right? So there was once that I was like, okay, I was in where was it? I was in Bordeaux. Bordeaux. I was there. So I was like, okay, no one. I just walk the whole city. I don't want to take a public transport, right? So I was literally
Nice.
walking for like the next 3 days. So I got to see a lot of different stuff. I enjoyed seeing different things, right? So I clocked. I was walking about 20,000 steps a day. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. 20 plus thousand days a day. I was like, wow, shit, my muscles was super crazy. but it was quite fun because the first day I screwed up a bit because I came back. I was quite late already. I was like, okay, I was quite insisting by walking. I was like, oh shit, I saw a lot of people, like in this gangster kind of style, right? I was like, oh shit, this must not be right. So I keep walking faster. So the lesson learned, the next day you don't come back too late. So this is just one example, right? So yeah, I mean, safety wise is quite okay. Loneliness wise, well, I guess two parts of me. One part of me wanting me to stretch out of the comfort zone to talk to more people, to meet new friends. Another part of me is like, okay, I just want my time, so don't kacau me, right? So that kind of so it's some balance needed. So one example, right, very funny, and it changed my life in terms of how I view worldview, right? Is that when I was in Bordeaux, I saw people playing basketball. So basketball is like my favorite sport. So well, way in the list. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at the homeless people playing basketball. So I was there. I was concerning about, I wanted to play because I know that's super attractive, to me. Like, it's like like I cannot resist that.
It's cool.
Right?
There's people playing together. Like, I want to join them, be part of them, like enjoy the fun.
But then the thing is, I have my backpack. I was waiting for my train back to Toulouse. So I was there waiting. I was like, there's another 1+ hour, right? So I was worried that I wanted to play, but I was worried that, if I put my bag down, there are homeless people. People, they take my stuff and chow and all whatnot, right? So I was like, oh shit, should I? So it took me like 15-20 minutes to, convince myself. I wouldn't say convince, but, to self-talk to myself somehow. And there's one dude came, I mean, one of the homeless people there playing, they came in. I mean, he came and asked me if I want to play, right? Apparently they speak better English than the normal French. Yeah, I mean that's a skill,
Okay,
right?
cool.
They need to survive. So anyway, so I decided to put my bags down and play with them, and nothing happened, right? So that changed my life in terms of in terms of my world perspective towards homeless people. In fact, there are fun people. They talk me, they share with me, hey, where is the good food and whatnot, right? So, and why are they ended up here? And then we had a good time. So that was quite fun. So that's like my best example. If I when I share with my friends about solo backpack trips, that's always my my go-to examples to share with, like, one of the most memorable experiences. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I guess, I don't know, maybe we were taught that, we need to be a bit cautious when people are a bit too different.
Yeah.
But sometimes it turns out that because of that difference, they are actually not, they're better than us. They're not worse than us. It's us that I guess we care a bit too much about ourselves. That we put too much focus on ourselves, but then they are homeless. They are kind of in the worst situation, and sometimes they are willing to help more than many others in the world.
True.
Yeah.
Or maybe we generalize the thing that people has been telling us to everybody in the world.
Yeah.
But in fact, maybe it's not the truth.
Yeah, no, actually, yes. I mean, but then it's also, caveat, if you see anything wrong, Zhao, need to really run, don't be like, you are the angel, everyone is super protective. There's still a lot of things that you need to worry about and you need to be careful about in this world, right? So yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it's very interesting to hear about. You spent 2 years in the UK and then like in like sometime in France as well, right? Within these 2 years, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But after that, you came back to Malaysia and then you switched from your aerospace engineering directly into the investment field.
Yeah. I started out with Khazanah as a public equity analyst. So what it means really is just we analyze stocks, companies, sectors, if they are interesting, if there's any interesting opportunities to invest in. Yeah. So I work with I work within the semiconductor tech hardware kind of a portfolio. So because of my background in engineering, so I slightly understand a little bit more on in terms of how the technical stuff's going on, right? So yeah, not a lot, but yeah.
But like, what made you switch directly, like from like engineering and then especially aerospace engineering
Right.
into like business investment field?
So I guess I have to serve my bond for sure with Khazanah. So second, I think I'm generally interested in business. So how business can create sustainable impact to the community. So I thought being investments get me to see how from one side of the investment table how businesses run. So what are the key metrics to look out for when you run a business? What are the things that you need to strategize and play, right? So in order to make stuff happen. So yeah, I guess that's the main two main reasons why I joined Khazanah as an investment analyst. Yeah.
Okay. So how long did you spend there again?
I was there for over a year. So I decided that interesting stuff. I learned my stuff. I enjoyed my whole entire 1 year plus. So I really love the people there. It's just that I thought it's also interesting to join another side, which is the startup side, to see what works and what not, right? So I mean, I always treat my career as some kind of having fun as well, play, see what works, what doesn't, what do I not like, what do I not like, then only figure things out. Because like 20s, it's more about experiencing different things than specializing, because if you don't explore enough, you can't focus at the right right path. So yeah, that's how I feel. But if someone figures out earlier, no, for sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, like, cause when you talk about Khazanah National, it kind of makes me feel like it's kind of like JP Morgan in Malaysia or something. Is it like what is your experience when you're working in the
Right. So I guess so slightly, well, I mean, maybe some context to what investments is, right? So Khazanah is a sovereign wealth fund. So we are directly under the Ministry of Finance. So what it means is that we actually owns the money. What it means is that we actually are the buy side. So in investments, people call it buy side and sell side. Sell side means providing the service of to this buy side people, so that they will invest in some stuff. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all these are sell side, because they don't own the assets. But for Khazanah, we own the assets because some of the assets are passed from the Ministry of Finance, right? So our responsibility is to invest the money and make sure it will create a long-term wealth for the nation. So there's a lot of departments, and within that, I'm parked under the public equity, which means the public markets. That simply means I get to invest in. I mean, I don't invest, but I recommend companies that worth investing to our fund managers, which is also within the team. Those people will pick and choose and invest. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you get to see? Did you get to meet the finance minister? I'm just interested.
Well, unfortunately not. So there was a chance, but I didn't attend because I wasn't around or something. I forgot already. But we did have all these kind of events going on, and sometimes they will. But in fact, I met him at Taman Tugu when I was jogging. So.
Wow. Okay. I guess that's better.
Why are you here? So, I mean, maybe I didn't say, but I was like, why the hell are you here? No, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I guess after this you went into the startup side of things. But is it during this period where the project the idea of Project Ad comes out and then you started working on it?
Oh no, Project Ad came way earlier, which is when during the university time. I started this back in 2017. So way before I graduated. So Project Ad, so it came because I realized two things. So one, a lot of students don't get the equal opportunity to access to quality education because of one, they don't have the exposure. They don't know what and where to go after SPM, right? So after secondary school. And secondly, more importantly, they don't have the sufficient funding capacity, right, or capabilities to fulfill their higher education dreams. So quite interestingly, I had excess of scholarship allowance. So I was like, okay, crap, why not? Let me just donate 45 ringgit a month, which is about $10, right? So back then, less than a meal if you eat outside in the UK, right? So if you go to it's like £9, £8. So So yeah, I got a bunch of friends who wanted to donate as well to contribute. So we found this by creating a scholarship fund, a for scholars by scholars scholarship fund, meaning that it's run by students, it's contributed by students, and it is giving out to students as well. So yeah, I guess it's quite fun. And then we realized one thing after collecting all this money, right? Shit, we have a lot of money, but then the impact is small, right? So we run this scholarship every year, but then the people that we impact is small, although that deep, right? So then we realized, okay, why not? Let's because all of us, right, the students we are the assets, because our knowledge is the assets because we got into the university, and that means that the journey of getting into the university, how do you apply for university, what course do you want to study, and all this is unique, and not everyone knows. If you ask a 30-year-old, right, they will tell you, hey, last time I did this, but then the whole UCAS application has changed, right? So things like this.
Okay.
So I thought that's quite powerful. So we shared with a lot of people, with a lot of students. We ran a lot of workshops in rural areas, underserved communities. So we went to Sabah, Sempurna, and we went there. You know, we took like a boat, go all the way into islands, and then only into the school, right? So that's quite fun. So in to Pahang, Johor, Perak, different places. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yes, I believe like while you founded the project at but then after that there's like a team that's supporting this whole thing, right?
Oh,
like quite a huge team. Like how many people was in your team?
So we had about 6 core team members. So my team. So we co-founded this. I mean the whole initiative, and then we had over 100 people contributing to the fund. Consistently, and then over 100 students who are contributing in terms of volunteering to different places to do the workshops. Yeah, on and off, because sometimes it's just that not everyone is free during that particular time to run the workshop. So yeah, we only run one workshop, which is to provide exposure to different tertiary education pathways. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the interesting question is, like, I believe when you find you find members of this team, you're trying to find like kind of like people that align with the vision, or like kind of like-minded people. And where did you find them?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's not a simple search on Google that just result in people that I can like partner with to start a social enterprise, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'm pretty lucky because I do have a network of scholars friends because I was in, right? So, and then found people who are interested to contribute. So a lot of times I just find people who has been a contributor to the project contributing monthly. And then from there, they ask a lot more questions. They want to volunteer. Then why not just come and help, right? So so that we can build something together. So yeah, that's how it grew naturally, I guess. Because of what the story and the messaging that you share as a person, right? And people got attracted because of that particular message that you share, aligned, then they will genuinely come and ask. So for example, one team member, Preston, my friend, right? So he came in because of my one sharing in one of the events. And one of the events that I shared my project at, and then he came and asked, hey, you know what? He was just an A-level student back then, right? Not even in university. So he graduated A-levels in enrolling into university. So it's like, hey, can I contribute because I love what you do? And he first joined as a website developer, helping us to enhance and help and improve our website whatsoever. And then he volunteered to do some workshops, and then slowly, progressively, and then he was heading the whole project eventually. So yeah, that's how it grew. And then he grew as a person as well, right? So those are the times that I see like interesting people growing and fulfilling their potentials.
Okay. That is cool. But yeah, like is Project Ed still going on right now, or is it because I saw that there's like not much update on the website recently?
So what we do is that I pass it down to juniors already. So the juniors run it in their own way. And then for now, I guess there's some pivots in terms of how they want to run. So I mean, I do give them their whole full responsibility to do so. I mean, I'm out. I'm a 26-year-old dude. I graduated like 3 years ago. So I'm out of this league anyway. So I was like, okay, y'all just do whatever that's benefiting the people. So I guess there's something going on. I hope there's new thing coming up very, very, very soon, so that more people will be able to get benefited. Yeah.
Oh, so is Project Ed trying to be like always continuing, trying to be like a student contributing to student thing? Is it?
Yes, absolutely. So I guess that was how I envisioned when I started. So it's always a student-run organization. So there's no point, hogging that place until like when you're 30, when you're already outdated of the whole university application and whatever, right? So that's just bullshit to me. So yeah, I mean, it's good for the people who need advice, who need assistance in terms of exposure. It's also good for people who are running it, so that they can get a real life exposure in terms of how you run, how you manage people, how you do good, right? So I guess it's a both sides. It's a win-win for all. Yeah.
Okay. I guess one impressive thing is that you started this whole initiative. You started to help people. But the another thing that is a lot more like impressive is the fact that you are able to just step down and then just like pass it on to the next generation, like at such an early stage of it, and then just like let it continually run on its own. Like, can I know how how did you do that? and how did you find kind of like a successor to it?
Well, I guess I mean I always have. I mean, one, like I shared, right? It's always a student-run organization. Or I want it to be a student-run organization. I always share with people, right? Even with my team members and outside. So it's like if Project Ed will close down, hopefully one day Project Ed will close down. So that's what because
it's kind of like there's no need for it to exist anymore.
Exactly. So because there's no need to exist, right? So when everyone gets equal opportunity to pursue their higher education, whether or not they want to, right? So so there's no need for this whole thing, right? So yeah, I mean, I hopefully one day all NGOs will close down for good, because there's no need for them anymore, right? So yeah, that means the world is a real good way, right? A real good world. So everyone wants to live in good balance and prosperity, right? So that's how I thought, right? So that's why there's no need to hog that place. There's nothing that you can earn from that. So yeah, apart from just trouble and a lot of hard work, right? So yeah, right. Why bother doing that? So that's one. And then in terms of finding successes, so we got a team to have this we call it apprentice when almost the time that I wanted to pass it down. So that was quite fun. So we had these people to come in and help out more progressively, to take more lead, and then eventually to play with different stuff. And from there they start to take more lead role, and then the original team members start to take the advisory kind of role to help out on the side. So that's how we slowly transition. And then to be honest, not very good part. So I mean, that was our first time doing that, right? So a lot of screw up things, a lot of trouble. So not the best transition ever, but it took us some time to figure things out, lah. Yeah. So it's not all.
Yeah, I guess it's always try and error. Then you eventually figure out the way, and then the next time you do it, you still screw up, even though you tried an error before. You thought that it will work well. No, it's not gonna work well. It's still gonna be a new thing. But I guess that's the fun of figuring things out. In the end, when it worked out, I was like, oh yes, yeah, finally it works.
So it's not always a bright and shine kind of thing, right? So I also want to share the other side of the full story, lah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love that.
Like many people, when they work so hard on something, when it's time for them to step down or let it go, they had so much hard feelings and complicated feeling. Do you have that when you're giving it? I mean, not giving, passing it down to your juniors.
Yeah, of course. I guess that's because you so-called this is your baby, right? You started this from nothing to something, then you're giving out so that there's nothing anymore, right? So I guess it's a process of looking forward and moving on. So I know there are a lot of more stuff that I wanted to do. So this is just the starting in the education field, right? So there's so many things happening. There's so many problems. So I love when I was doing intern in one of the consulting firms. There's this partner was saying this, right? If 50% of us here, management consultants, It's like if 50% of us here contributing our brain juice to the societal environmental problems in the world, right? So the world will be a better place. But then we suck because we want money, right? So sorry, quote unquote. So yeah, that's why it takes lower, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot more problems that to be solved, and see how things can be run. So rather than just hogging on one thing, right? Pass it down so that people can move on, do something else. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, like right after Kazana, like what was the you said that you kind of got tired of like corporate, is it? And then you decided to jump on to like startup scene.
Yeah, I guess instead of tired might not be the right word, but more of trying to explore a different route.
Oh,
so
okay.
I guess something that's more fast paced, that's more ownership driven, break and fail kind of stuff, right? So
would you say like Project Ed like kind of made you wanna go try out the startup field?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's how I started to feel, the itch of trying to break and fail kind of fail stuff. Right? Break, fail, learn, unlearn, hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's how I, decided to, why not, let's do something else. And opportunity came in because, founders of, what's that called? Got a friend from, who know the founders of, Pop Meals, and then eventually got introduced, and they love what I was doing in terms of impact world. And then I thought it quite interesting to work with them directly. Like, so not everyone get a chance to work with a YC back, Rakuten-backed company like directly with the founders, so I thought it's quite fun to learn from them. So yeah, I guess that's how I got onboarded. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, like yes. Well, you're working in you're working in the CEO office, right?
Yes.
Like, what does that mean? Like, is that like you're working as an assistant, or you're working like with the CEO, but then not as the assistant, something?
Right. I guess both ways also correct. So I guess within the CEO office, there's a lot of stuff that a CEO needs to think about. So there's a lot of special projects, business sales, hiring, what's that? Other fundraising, investor relations kind of stuff. You essentially will build a lot of decks. You will do a lot of calculations. Those decks and calculations that you will need to use rather than build it for fun, right? So yeah.
I saw that you put it on LinkedIn. You did a lot of pretty presentations.
So you build decks that are actually useful to close deals, to close sales, to close partnerships, to close fundraising, right? For instance, so these are the stuff that I did when I was in the CEO office. So yes, you can say you are the assistant, but you can also say it's actually a fast track to becoming management in a startup, right? So which means if you are good enough, you will be able to lead or head a team. Because let's say if you are super good in sales, then after doing a while, because you see,
they can just pass you on to manage the whole sales team, something like that.
Exactly, rather than climbing from a sales executive, blah 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 blah, all the way up, right? So I guess that's a fast track, not for everyone, because I guess it's messy, so you gotta do different stuff. Even you gotta take some minutes when there's a call, some of the important calls, right? Which makes sense because you need to take down important notes, right? So, and also you need to know how to talk to the people, talk to the founders. I mean, I always see this as a conversation bridge between founders and the working levels. So a lot of times there's things that working levels have issues with, but then don't know how to talk to the founders, right? So especially the founders are all non-Malaysian.
They're thinking a bit too far away, is it? Like too far ahead in the vision, something like that.
And a lot of times they're just high level stuff, right? So you need to bridge that gap. So yeah, I guess that's how I view it, and it's quite interesting to work.
It's cool.
I wouldn't recommend you to work for 5-10 years as a chief of staff, or within the CEO office, right? But it's a good experience, 1-2 year experience, so that eventually, if someone wants to, this is for people who want to start their own company eventually, and want to be at the first row of this train, to see what's going on and
At the front seat, like saying what was happening, what's in the scene.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. From there, then you decide if you want to continue to build a company, or you go back to another employment, right? So yeah, that's basically how I view it.
Okay. Yeah. But right after that, so are you now? Because now you are. I saw that you're in a career break quite recently. I think like two months ago, right? You began your career break. Are you already planning for your next company, your next venture?
I wouldn't say. I mean, career break, because that's what LinkedIn allows me to put. I don't know what else they can let me put. Other than a career break,
I think it's quite a recent thing. I think previously they didn't have that, but like I think after COVID, many people are doing career breaks now, and then like they thought of that as an option, so they started introducing that, which is a good thing.
That's this, instead of a typical career break, really rest. It's more of exploring different passion projects. So I'm currently working also with Langit, where I'm currently wearing their shirt. So basically, what they do is that they bridge urban and rural economies. So through farming products. So for instance, their main product is rice. So they have this heirloom rice, which is incredibly great. And one of the
What is that? Can you let me know what is heirloom rice?
Okay, heirloom rice is so every if I understand fully, I mean quote unquote. So I guess I'm right. So I think I'm right. But anyways, so what it does is that it's rice. Every cycle, every planting and harvesting cycle, they will leave a bit. They will keep a bit of their seeds, rice basically.
Okay.
Rice is the seed. So from there they will then use it to plant for the next cycle, so that it is passed down in terms of generations, sort of. So that's why they call it heirloom rice. And their farmers are in Sarawak. It's called this place called Long Semado, Sarawak. The nearest town is Lawas. It's crazy, right? So I went there once to plant paddy. One of my best life experience in the world. Yeah, really. So what I did was, like, from KL you need to take a 2+ hours flight to Labuan, and then from Labuan you take about 3 hours ferry. I guess 3 hours, around there. I mean, less than 3 hours ferry to what's this place, to Lawas, and then Lawas you take another 4+5 hours 4x4 all the way out. I didn't realize it's that long. So I was like, crap. When I reached, right, it's not like a real Genting kind of road. It's the bumpy, no road kind of. It's
no road. I like how you explained it.
Literally dark. There's no. It's apart from your car light, right? There's nothing else. So it's crazy. Like, but then when you arrive, it's fun. Like the next day, we went to plant paddy. One of my best experience. If you take a look on my LinkedIn, I wrote a post about it. And it's quite fun, I enjoyed every single moment, a lot of good conversations, and I mean, I'm going back this coming January to harvest the paddy. I went there before COVID, 2020. I mean, during COVID, but anyways, July 2020 down. Now I'm going back to harvest the paddy. So it's helping them on
That's amazing.
on there. So I do a little bit on helping out. They are my friends, so helping them out as well with Langit on their fundraising and strategy kind of stuff, right? So other than that, it's all about education and trying to working on projects, looking at how so I identify a few problems in the education world. So one, I mean, it's how do I put it, 21st century skills. So what I mean is that a lot of times when you see, right, so our current education system, from primary school all the way to university, it's built for 19th century. So when the Industrial Revolution started. And then since then, there's no revolution in the education system to make it more suited for 21st century, which requires a lot more problem solving, collaborative thinking, world citizenship, empathy, communication, rather than being a factory worker, which
exactly
AI and computers, machines, robots can do, right? So I mean, this is very high level, but then breaking it down is that what I see and hope is that what if there's an alternative to university?
Mm.
So what I envision is that yes, I mean university won't. A lot of universities like lower rank or whatever, those want to sell you course and get a kind of university will not exist anymore. But then there will still be universities, and those are for specialized courses. For instance, engineering. I mean, you don't want to take a plane.
That's why I certified, built by a certified engineer, right? Like,
Yes, you don't want someone who's not an aerospace engineer certified to. I mean, even with a certified aerospace engineer, there's problem, right? So screw up. So yeah, and you don't want a doctor who is not a doctor to examine and give you medicine or whatever, right? So
exactly.
Specialized courses, yes, but then the majority of the other work career or career pathways don't need this kind of specialized degree, but rather it requires a lot more hands-on live projects kind of stuff. For instance, I from engineering, I jump into investments knowing nothing, and then
you still can do a great job, right?
Yeah, it's fine. So I mean it's not that it's easy. It's just that there's the learning is from the on the go. That obviously you need to be I mean not say super crazy, but hardworking enough to explore that particular, some learning, some theories, of course you need to know. But then beyond that, it's all about learning on the go, working on the projects, and then from there you learn, right? So I guess more people need to be comfortable in terms of failing.
Yes, definitely. I mean, like,
learn. Yeah.
I guess we are conditioned to fear failing. We think like failing like it's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Where we feel like it's literally a disgrace to the family. We shouldn't tell others about it. But in fact, failing like what you said like when you're in like the UK and France, like screwing up doesn't do anything. You just screw up. It's a bit embarrassing, but nothing changed.
Yep.
Yeah, and in fact you learn something, and that's how you can screw up a bit better next time.
I mean, obviously there's some boundaries to it, right? You don't screw up like doing, illegal stuff or whatever, right? So other than that, it's fine, right? So I that's why I think there's a lot of work needed on that particular site, which I'm currently focused on the age of so it's practically impossible or not realistic to tell parents, hey, see, our job is like this. You don't need degree. Straight away get your students to and join a boot camp. It's practically impossible, right? I mean, you did computer science. Yeah. So it's essentially you don't actually need to do a computer science degree.
Exactly.
You do a boot camp, 6 months. Boom, go and work. So I guess.
Yeah, and in fact, many of the tech firms here, they do offer
apprenticeship.
Right? Yeah, apprenticeship. Yeah, you literally, as long as you know how to code and all that, and you can prove that you know how to code, just join in, and then after a year of apprenticeship, you might be able to just go up and become a software engineer. Yeah,
so two good things about this, right? You save a lot of money, which you are getting paid doing learning. So instead of having all this student debt, right? So I mean, I was quite privileged and lucky to have a scholarship getting me, right? Or else I wouldn't have gone to university, right? So that's one. And secondly, you gain so much work experience compared to someone who graduated from, let's say you join an apprenticeship, you coded stuff, right? You built stuff already. Compared to someone who graduated from Cambridge, Oxford, but then
they need to spend a year to figure out okay, so how do I actually do stuff? How do I actually create things?
Yeah. So employees want effective people, right? Think about it. So obviously they will choose the first path. I mean, so I guess that's something quite interesting. But then in Southeast Asia or in Asia context, it's quite practically impossible to tell them, say, the next day you say, hey, you don't need to go to university anymore. It's more of now my way of thinking about it is going through people who want to go to university, but then I mean, yes, you still need that university degree because temporary, want to convince you that you don't need, but then most parents will still want to send them, right? So
they want something to be able to look at, oh, okay, so you did something, I get this show that you did something.
Yes. So I guess in the future, it's more of having this mastery transcript. So students will be able to continue to build that. Instead of resume, you have a mastery transcript. So you have you put justification to what you have done, right? Very similar to portfolio, but this is more on in terms of the 21st century skills like problem solving, team communication. Can you code hard skill and soft skill? Let's put it that way, right? I don't like soft skill, this word, but then let's bear with it for now. Hard skill means, let's say you want to be a software engineer, then you have that particular hard skill. You have portfolio for that. And then how do you have portfolio for the soft skill? And this together comes as a mastery transcript. So if you can build that without doing a university degree, yes, might as well, right? And you can already earn money from there. So I guess the larger picture is to provide an alternative route for people who don't need a degree. And a lot of times, most of the jobs out there are generalists. So meaning that they don't need a specialized degree for this. So like myself, I did aerospace engineering, became an investment analyst. A lot of people came in, eventually become sales engineer, become product manager, become customer success, become startups, operations, strategy analyst. Yeah, I mean, you don't learn to strategy by becoming a strategy. I mean, you don't learn how to be strategy analyst by doing that, right? You don't, like you run business, right? You don't learn business by learning in school. You do business, then you learn business.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So I guess that's how
exactly
how I would envision the whole thing. And eventually, the larger picture is to convince that parents and whoever is paying for their kids' future, right? It's like, okay, there's actually new alternative pathway because so many people have done it. And because eventually you think about it, right? So it's that parents are worried because they are worried that their kids can't get a job, can't sustain themselves. So ultimately, it's not because they want a good degree because so that they can get a job. So the outcome is actually getting a job rather than. So if I tell you, hey, now no need to do degree anymore, you also can get a job, even pay higher. What would be your choice? Like, oh crap, I should have known this. Like, so I guess. This is something that I would love to build. Hopefully in this APAC or somewhere beyond this. I guess this is the future of how we see higher education. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree, Joe. I mean, it's quite funny when you realize, I guess many people around you, when they start getting out to work, you find that they don't actually work on the things that they studied during university. They spend 3 years. You kind of think like, oh, it's actually quite a waste, You spend 3 years studying something, you specialize in something, and then you end up doing something else. Like, wait, why don't you just, you just skip that part and then just go straight to that? Of course, you might suffer in your first year.
That's it for this episode. In the next episode, we shall continue our conversation with Nelson on his views on education and his vision for the future. Thanks everyone for listening and hope to see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on the Apple Podcast. If you are not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again and see you all next week. Bye bye.